We continue to follow breaking news of the wildfires throughout our state. The Quarry Fire is burning in Jefferson County. We know it's grown to more than 340 acres. Right now, though, we should learn if that number has changed. Let's take a listen.
Fighters on this fire, and we currently have doubled that. Today we have 155. So that's very encouraging. That includes 20 of the SAMWAD hotshots that arrived last night. So thankful for their help. We have 23 different fire apparatus on the fire, meaning fire trucks, brush trucks, things of that nature. So that's substantially up as well. I do not have an update yet on acreage burned or on any containment gain. When we started the day, we had 0 containment and 341 acres. We got the 341 late yesterday from infrared flight that happened. We're still hopeful that flight is going to happen again today, but once they put that through the software and get us an actual number, it could be later on tonight before we tweet that out. We'll just have to let you know. We're also working on some updated maps that are more user-friendly for our citizens that are evacuated and in the pre-vac zone to help with that. We just met with a number of the evacuated folks at the evacuation center at Dakota Ridge High School. I'll say there's probably about 60 or 65 people there with, of course, lots of questions, and we're continuing to communicate with them face-to-face a couple times a day. I think it's a really good way to hear directly from them what their concerns and questions are. We can assume and do a lot of social media posts and talk a lot at press conferences, but it's good to hear from the folks directly. We're still the same on our mandatory evacuations and our pre-evacs. Still getting a lot of animals that are still being brought to the fairgrounds. And again, the evacuation center is welcoming folks that need to come in with their pets. Stacy, there's something I'm forgetting. Is that it? Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Donations. We're getting, the generosity of people is amazing. And we're getting a lot of people that are wanting to donate everything you can think of. The Jefferson County has put up a Quarry Fire page on the Jefferson County website. It's got a QR code on there. You can hit that, and it gives you all the information about where to donate. Bringing them to like instant command posts or things like that, or to firehouses, is really not helpful. We appreciate the generosity and the donation, but they can't deal with it at this time. So they're pretty self-sufficient during a situation like this. So we ask that you go there and get the best direction. Before I take questions, I want to bring up Cassie Pierce, Director of Public Affairs for the county, to talk about some things for the future. I want to preface this by saying we're in for a long battle. What's long? We don't know. We know this. We have 3 big fires in the state of Colorado. The national news is focusing on this one. And there's lots of reasons for that. But one, this is one of the most densely populated, and it has proven to be absolutely one of the most challenging firefight I've seen in my 15 to 20 years of been doing this. It is steep and treacherous, and I've been talking about that for days, but boots on the ground are going to win this fight. Air is critical part of us winning this fight, but you can't put this fire out just by water and retardant. It's going to be boots on the ground. That's why we're excited about 155 firefighters. So we want to think about when we get this out, when people can move back into their home, what does that look like? And I want to preface this so seriously. We're not close to this, but we want to start making a plan for when we can move quickly and get you back in your homes. So Cassie.
Hello, I'm Cassie Pierce. I'm the Public Affairs Director with Jefferson County. I'm working in the Emergency Operations Center.
Can you step closer to the mic, please?
Yes, no problem. Cassie Pierce, I'm the Public Affairs Director with Jefferson County, and I'm working in the Emergency Operations Center. I'm going to just expand a little bit on what Mark shared. We are not talking about reentry at this point, but we do want folks to be prepared for when we do get to that point. We're trying to think ahead so that that process is seamless moving forward. So it's really important, if you've been evacuated, please keep watching the Jefferson County Sheriff's Twitter and that Quarry Fire website page, because your next steps will be there. And that's where the information that you'll need is going to be posted. In addition to that, we have updated the donations portion of that page to include a link for financial donations. That really is the best way to help at this point, is with financial donations, and we're working really closely with the Red Cross on that. So those would be really helpful things at this point, and thank you so much.
Hey Mark, which neighborhood is the fire closest to now?
I can't tell you, and it's not because I don't want to.
And how close is the fire to homes at this point?
I can answer that. We are,
Step up to the mic.
sorry, I can answer that. We are, the closest flames, or the flames that are closest to the house are a quarter mile away. It's a quarter mile away from the closest structure. Now, I want that to be accepted with perspective. That beats the heck out of 100 yards, right? It's a quarter mile away. So hopefully it brings some breath to some people that are evacuated.
Can you say which structure that is and which neighborhood?
I can't yet. I'm hopefully maybe this afternoon I'll get some information that helps.
Is that 'cause you don't know
I just haven't been fed the info.
Thank you.
You
Mark,
bet.
How close to capacity is the evacuation center at the high school?
Oh, we're not even close. During the evenings, there have been 14, 15 people there. We were just there talking to them, and there were maybe 65 people there. We're talking the entire high school gym and auditorium. They can fit hundreds. So lots of room.
West Metro tweeted out about half an hour ago that the fire was at 418 acres. Is that false?
I haven't seen that number. I'm not saying it's false. It very well could be accurate. I just haven't been given that information yet.
Speaking of resources, I mean, you say you have an influx of new ones. Are there more coming in, and where are they coming from? Are they coming from other states, or?
They're coming from mainly from here as they're being freed up and coming back from out of state, and also just dispersing folks within the fires here. And I got to tell you that I said that we have 23 rigs. They're from everywhere in the state. I mean, we're here in Southwest Jefferson County. I got Elizabeth Fire Department rig out here working, right? So, I mean, across the state, we have representation.
Do you need more?
Always. Yeah, we would love to have more. Instead of 155 boots on the ground, I'd love to see 400.
Can you describe the aerial resources you have?
Right now, we have, this afternoon, we've had 3 helicopters and 2 planes dropping, you've seen right behind us, dropping the water and fire retardant. We're fortunate, I want to say, sorry, Tony, we're fortunate to have those. I tell you, it's the other fires going on. Air resources are crucial to all of us, right? So we request them for the following day for the efforts we want to do, and then there's strategy and comparison, and then the powers that be decide. They get a couple helicopters, that gets a tanker, that type of thing. So when we put in the request last night, we put them in with crossed fingers, and we're fortunate today to have them. Tony.
Mark, talking about strategy and realizing all 3 fires are dynamically changing every minute, is the state ranking risk level for all 3? And if so, where is the Jefferson County, where's the Quarry Fire ranking as far as risk for homes and lives right now?
I will say this, and then I'm going to have Stacy Martin put some in on this as well. This fire, so Colorado yesterday had 4 fires going on, right? Today we're back down to 3. But national news covered the state of Colorado with 4 major wildfires, and they focused on this fire. And it's not the biggest by any stretch. But you look at the incredibly difficult terrain it is for firefighters, and you look at the density of homes that are up there, and you look at assets that really can't afford to be lost, like a watershed that puts water down to 2,800,000 people down towards Denver that could be affected by this fire if it got out of control. Lockheed Martin right behind us here. Those are things that have got to be protected, not to mention the homes of the people that live there. So it's getting a lot of attention, and I think that helps with our request, Tony, to answer your question. And Stacy Martin, who is part of our PIO unit, who is also the assistant chief of the Evergreen Fire Department, she might have some info.
Sure. Thank you all for being here. You know, the additional resources would be fabulous to have on this fire, but what we have right now is working well. I will admit that's very steep up there. It's hard work. You got a lot of gear on, and you're digging line, right? So this is going to be a hard fight, and we're looking forward to getting more resources the best we can.
Just trying to confirm though, does the state rank the 3 fires dynamically as things are changing? And is that how they're determining which resources go where, both air and man and woman power?
I would say I don't think it's the state, right? I think it's a combination of incident commanders managing these things and working together to see who's got it. I don't think state doesn't control which helicopter goes where. It's more of these guys have been doing this a long time, and they all have the same goal, right? Let's put out the fire. Let's save lives. Let's save structures, and let's keep firefighters safe. So they get together and they make the determination.
How long can people expect to have to stay out of their homes? Those that are evacuated now.
Boy, if I could tell you that, I'd win the lottery. Just don't know. We didn't expect it to be this difficult of a fight. This terrain is something like I haven't seen in my career in doing this for 15, 20 years. It's hard. So, I mean, this thing could go on for days, a week, 2 weeks. We just don't know.
Are the San Juan hot shots on the ground now?
Yeah, they came in last night.
Mark, I see the smoke coming out pretty high on the mountain. How long is the trek from where the firefighters get dropped off to the front line of the fire?
I don't know. Did we know? No, I don't know.
In terms of getting an update on kind of firefighter injuries so far, how are they doing now with this heat? And like you were saying, it's already hard work as opposed to a fire between this morning and this afternoon.
Are you guys hot out here? It's 98 degrees. You bet we're hot. Put on 30, 40, 50 if you like to go heavy gear, and then go up and down these mountains when it's loose footing and it's rocky and you're climbing over stuff and you're digging line. It's tough work. And that's why we had 4 firefighters yesterday go down with heat exhaustion. Fortunately, they are fine. And I believe all of them, if not 3 of them, are back on the line today. We also had 1 firefighter suffer a seizure yesterday. So he's not hospitalized. They're all out and recovering and things are well. But it just goes to show you, this is tough, man.
Are there new cases of heat exhaustion today?
Haven't heard any today yet.
Should we expect more evacuation notices? We were up in a pre-vac area today, Killdale Pines, which is under pre-vac. Should there be more pre-vac notices coming out or mandatory evacs coming out?
It all depends on what happens on that mountain. How are we doing? How's the behavior of the fire? Are we successful in our efforts today to keep that from happening? And just so everyone understands the difference between evac and pre-evac and how that works. So if these 3 communities are in evac, these 3 next door to it are automatically in pre-evac, right? Whether or not we think it's going to run that way, that's just the way the system works. So pre-evac is with an abundance of caution, but we also say you better be ready, because we've seen fires run fast and hard. From a 10 by 10 Tuesday night, 10 foot by 10 foot, this went to 50 acres in an hour. That's fast. Are you going to be prepared to get your stuff out if that thing blows up? So we don't know if we're going to have more.
Can you please give us more details about the Deer Creek Canyon Road that you talked about this morning, where it was essential to keep the fire behind that road and not cross over? Which road, is it west or north that you're trying to stop the fire?
We're trying to stop the fire from going north of Deer Creek Canyon Road. It's crucial to win that fight. If we lose that fight, that fire is coming this way. Right there. It's going to come this way. And then we have a whole nother battle, right? It's tough enough for the community that we have and the homeowners there that it's contained, but it's contained there at this point. If it goes a little west, a little east, a little south, we can still manage that. We cannot have that fire go north. And it is up against Deer Creek County Road as we speak.
Towards King Carroll?
Yes.
You're trying to stop it from going towards King Carroll?
Or a lot more than King Carroll, but yes, it includes King Carroll.
In terms of resources, yesterday it was kind of like what we have is what we've got. This is all we're going to have. How did you guys secure more? How did you secure another program?
There was a lot of knocking on doors and praying, I guess. Resources became available, and we snagged them up as we could. Yeah, sir.
You said earlier the closest the fire has gotten is a quarter mile. Is that still the case? We've not lost any structures?
We have not lost a structure. There is work going on around some homes. we've told the people at the evacs that don't be surprised when you get home that your patio furniture on your deck is not there anymore. It's been moved. Don't be surprised when you get home that if the firewood that was stored underneath your deck is moved over into another pile somewhere away from your home. And don't be surprised if you have a 3-foot wide, 2-foot inch trench dug around your home.
You told us yesterday also that the fire jumped into a neighborhood that would switch the priority to get to protecting those homes. It sounds like we're still focusing on containment.
We are focusing on containment and putting this fire out. Yeah, we're not in a structure protection mode yet, but we're doing some pre-work on some homes in that area. I don't know where those are, but hopefully I'll have more information for you on that.
Thank you.
Questions?
How are you
Anything
feeling?
more?
Are we feeling better about this?
We had water yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was pretty intense. We had 4 helicopters. We had every size of tanker that you could think dropping retardant. Some of them were the biggest airplane. One was the biggest airplane I've ever seen in my life. It was dropping 10,000 gallons at a time. So do we feel better? We had that yesterday, so that's great, but we still are at zero containment. We're still at a quarter mile from the homes. That's great, but we're still up against the road. So yay. And, it's we've got more work to do. But then again, today we had requested the aircraft and we got it. So we're very grateful for that. We doubled the size of boots on the ground. I'm really hopeful that this afternoon in briefing that we receive some encouraging news, but I don't know yet, but we will tweet it out and Facebook it out, all that stuff as soon as we hear where we're at.
Mark, without rain, without a change in temperature and humidity, knowing the terrain you've described, is it realistic to think you're going to be able to put this fire out?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Without those changes.
Yeah, without those changes. We don't need Mother Nature to come here and save us, because the chance of that happening pretty slim. How much rain have we gotten in Colorado this year? I think it's less than 9 inches. We're going to put this out with our own savvy, our own hard work, our own resources, and the firefighters that are amazing. Most of these guys are volunteers. You think about that. How many of us are willing to do that type of work because you just feel the drive to help your neighbor? It's pretty impressive. We're going to get this thing.
Will there be another press conference today?
No more today. We will be doing press conferences on schedule moving forward, 7:30 a.m., 2 p.m. right here.
West Ranch is the latest neighborhood under a pre-vac?
West Ranch is under a pre-vac. So it's if you look on a map over here, you've got King Carroll in the valley, and it's a little area over here that is a gated community. So.
Is there any chance? Is there anything like a food truck or anything we can do?
Well, thank you so much. No, we're pretty self-sufficient in these things and been used to it. And we've had a lot of donations brought to us, and it's so appreciative of the support of the community. But any donations, if you want to do cash, anything, it would be best to go to that website, Jefferson County website, pull up, do that QR code. And you don't have to do the QR code. There's the whole list of what you can do. But yeah, thank you though. All right, folks.
What's the process for negotiating resources between the five?
That's a conversation with the ICs, the incident commanders, and what they have going on. Everybody puts their cards on the table and says, here's what we got. And they work together. That's how it's worked forever. Without the partnership, we say we compete for resources, but really the incident commanders, the leads are sitting down and say, what you got? Here's what I got. Man, you got to have that. How about you? Well, yes, we can take this. It's very much it's a partnership. It's all about relationships.
Those 3 commanders, they're deciding. Incident commanders.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That was an update on the Quarry Fire burning in Jefferson County. It's one of many wildfires across our state. We'll continue to get updated on the very latest here and online at cbscolorado.com.